So we have a retail space, and the study Perth is the student hub is actually within our building, as well as their corporate head office. So
Would you say that those two locations are better suited for students who maybe prefer a more quieter and affordable lifestyle?
it is an amazing place to be. You get the best of Australia in terms of access to beautiful beaches and beautiful landscapes and proximity to some beautiful kind of areas within Australia.
Hai teman-teman, kembali lagi bersama aku Valerie dan kali ini aku masih ditemenin sama Corey Lee selaku Director of Commercial dari The Switch Accommodation in Australia. Nah, di pembahasan sebelumnya kita udah bahas sedikit nih, kasih cuplikan soal akomodasi The Switch di Sydney dan Melbourne. Kali ini kita bakal bahas lebih dalam lagi mengenai akomodasi mereka yang lokasinya ada di Perth and Adelaide. So, Corey, could you maybe explain to us a little bit about what the accommodation in Perth and Adelaide offers for international students?
Great question. So actually, Perth was the first building we opened, which is super exciting for us. We opened our first building in Perth shortly after COVID, which was such an exciting time. The world was getting back together, and we were very fortunate in our timing to open when everyone was absolutely ready to start traveling again. So in Perth, we have an amazing building. It's right in the CBD. It currently right now it is the only CBD located purpose-built student accommodation, although there's co-living element, but the purpose-built accommodation building in Perth, and it is right in the centre of the CBD. So everything you could possibly want is on your doorstep. We have amazing communal spaces there. Again, on the ground floor, we have a fully integrated cafe, which really brings the space alive. We're quite fortunate that Study Perth is actually in our ground floor tenancy. So we have a retail space, and the Study Perth is the student hub is actually within our building, as well as their corporate head office. So, for those students that are looking to travel to Perth, there's an added element of kind of pastoral care and support directly in the building that we already have a lot of support for you, being the Switch and what we put in place, but also Study Perth is in the same building, which also creates really great kind of networking events and getting to know other students. They do an amazing array of events as well that our student residents can also be involved in. So it's a good, nice little value add for those students that choose to live in the Switch Perth to have the Study Perth hub within the building. Once again, we have loads of communal space in our Perth building. On the ground floor, we have the integrated cafe, as well as kind of just little breakout spaces and a pop-up area, like I touched on previously, where we invite, organic skincare to come in, that we use, that partner with quite office. We have pop-up vintage markets, all in the ground floor. On the first floor, we have our kind of study floor. So on the first floor, we have a co-working area with a multitude of study desks. Once again, 3 bookable rooms, a podcast studio. Ironically, we have a podcast studio on level 1. On level 2, another floor of communal space. So in level 2, we have an indoor-outdoor gym. Once again, personal trainer, kind of conducting those group exercise classes throughout the week. We have a massive open kitchen again, and a breakout kind of TV relaxation space, as well as our laundry on level 2. And once again, a wraparound courtyard with outdoor seating, which really takes in obviously the advantages of being in Perth is the beautiful weather. So loads of outdoor space in that building. On the level, we've also got a rooftop space in Perth, which is amazing. We've got 2 wings of outdoor terrace on the top of the building, which obviously you get great views across the CBD and out to the ocean, as well as internally we have kind of an entertainment space with pool table, table tennis, once again another seating area to really engage with the residents. In terms of the room types we have in Perth, very similar to what we have in other buildings, slightly different, but we have a cozy two-bedroom apartment again, which is kind of that entry level with a fully private bedroom, shared cooking and dining area. We also have a four-bedroom ensuite, as we touched on before, four bedrooms, private bathroom. We have a five-bedroom, two-bath, which is another amazing, expansive apartment. And then we have our studio products in Perth. I think in terms of location, outside of being CBD and having the culture and food mecca of Perth on your doorstep, and the connectivity to universities, we have ECU City Campus opening in 2026 directly across the road from us, which is a really great location. We're working very closely with that university to try and see how we can work together. We have a strong relationship with UWA at the moment, and we have transport links directly to that campus. So there's a bus basically on the corner of where we're located that takes you a free bus that takes you to UWA, which is about a 15-minute drive from our location. In terms of Adelaide, we're on North Terrace. Once again, we've been quite fortunate with the locations. We are directly across the road from University of Adelaide. We are about a 5-minute walk, sorry, to the Flinders University City Campus, and we're about 6 minutes to Uni SA, all on North Terrace. So very centrally located for the major universities. So that's a perfect location. We're across the road from the state library. Behind us is Rundle Mall, which is basically the retail precinct in Adelaide. So everything you need from your groceries to your kind of your shopping needs and your kind of that retail therapy is right in the heart of Adelaide. In terms of the building itself, as you can see from that image behind me, it is a beautiful building, a mixture of kind of heritage facade, and beautiful internal fit out. This is actually from our level 34, which has basically 360 views of Adelaide. You're sitting over Adelaide Oval, but you can see all the way out to Adelaide Hills and that wine region and beautiful kind of country, as well as out to the ocean, all from our building. I think it's like the third or fourth highest building in Adelaide, accommodation building in Adelaide, which is quite cool. But within the building, ground floor, once again, we have open kind of co-working areas where breakout study, entertainment space. We have a gym on our ground floor. On level one, in Adelaide, we're quite fortunate. We have a full floor of study space. So we have sit down, stand up desks. We've got about 30 workstations, as well as private rooms you can book, a boardroom to book, phone booths again. So I think that there's some beautiful study space in Adelaide on level one. Level two, we have kind of breakout entertainment areas where we have like a basketball machine, we have some table tennis tables. But also on that floor, we have a beautiful courtyard with outdoor cooking facilities, a communal kitchen. Once again, it's a common theme that we create these beautiful kind of communal kitchens that feel like a space you want to be in to drive people together, meet with friends, those elements. Laundry facility on level two, as I mentioned, laundry is fully included in our rents. And then obviously the next level is that level 34, which you're looking at behind me now. Beautiful space. We have shuffleboard, we have a pool table up there, but loads of common area. On the back of that, also on this floor, we have our large bookable cinema room, which can seat up to 30, 40 people comfortably. So those that want to, watch a movie with their friends or watch a sporting event, or just hang out, there's plenty of room in Adelaide as well. In terms of the room types in Adelaide, similar again, like I touched on in our other buildings, but we have our cozy two-bedroom apartment, which once again is fully private. We have a four-bedroom, two-bathroom apartment, so four-bedroom shared, where you have your own private bedroom, shared bathroom, and then we have our four-bedroom en suites, which has a private bathroom. Both those four-bedroom apartments have that breakout lounge, kitchen, dining area, and then we have our studio products as well. So I think the one thing to kind of touch on for Adelaide and Perth, is that obviously Adelaide and Perth, they have that regional status within Australia, which, when for those parents or students that are looking for post-study work or, migration paths, there's certainly advantages in Adelaide and Perth in the sense that you get access to a really great academic outcome through a group of eight university. and you get those kind of those opportunities for post-work rights that you may not get in Sydney and Melbourne, which anyone who's looking for that as part of their international education journey, Adelaide and Perth are a great option.
Well, okay. So the facilities are once more like there's a lot.
There's a
From
lot.
entertainment to theater, bookable theater and cinema rooms. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. But speaking of the Switch in Perth and Adelaide, would you say that those two locations are better suited for students who maybe prefer a more quieter and affordable lifestyle?
Yeah, I don't think that's untrue. I think that that could be the case. I think that both, like I said, I think Adelaide and Perth have those opportunities for post-study work that you may not get in Sydney and Melbourne. And they are beautiful cities, and they're a little bit slower than Sydney and Melbourne. But I don't think you're sacrificing much in that CBD element. But it is, the lifestyle in Adelaide and Perth is certainly more relaxed than Sydney and Melbourne. So anyone who is looking for a really focused study journey, that, to your point, may not be up for the hustle and bustle of Sydney and Melbourne, it is an amazing place to be. You get the best of Australia in terms of access to beautiful beaches and beautiful landscapes, and proximity to some beautiful kind of areas within Australia, as well as having that CBD lifestyle. So I think those students and parents that are not really focused on that hustle and bustle Jakarta lifestyle. Yeah, I think that Adelaide and Perth could certainly provide everything you need from entertainment, cultural exposure, but not quite in the hustle and bustle of Sydney and Melbourne.
Thank you so much, Corey, for explaining to our viewers about the Switch in Perth and Adelaide. Nah, teman-teman, habis ini akan ada pembahasan lebih lanjut mengenai student life dan support yang diberikan The Switch untuk teman-teman yang mau kuliah di Australia. So, don't go anywhere. See you on the next video. Bye!
Gimana informasinya? Jangan lupa subscribe channel Sun Education dan cek video lainnya supaya kamu makin siap kuliah ke luar negeri. Subscribe!